Today, we have a true example of growth, resilience, and self-belief. Scales. Coming from Kaduna, Nigeria, he is a world-famous independent artist from Africa. Your song is known around the world, Shake Body. But this story is more than just about music. It's about humbleness, overcoming obstacles in life, always believing in yourself with a smile. So join us into the story of Scales' mindset.
Let's go.
Brother, first, it's a big pleasure, big honor to have you here in our podcast. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Our first question is, when we talk about mindset, we have to talk about success. And if we go back in your history, there was a time you were sleeping in the car. And at this time, you made this very famous song, Shake Body. And now, 10 years later, a very famous football player like Lamine Yamal, he made a video and it went viral and everyone knows the song. So why do you think it's important in life to always keep on with what you love and what you do? Why is it important to believe in your dreams, and why is it important to especially believe in your dreams in days where you have nothing?
I mean, for me, I just believe that there's one thing I always tell myself is you can never be wrong for 365 days. If you keep going, if you're doing the same thing, let's say you take like an arrow and you keep trying to shoot at something for like hours, you eventually one of them must hit it. So that's how I see life. So I just feel like you just have to keep going, because those times when you fail, they are just accumulated lessons of how you can easily achieve your goals and stuff. And for me, I also I believe in loving what you do, which is being passionate about what you do and making sure that you strive to make anything that you do excellent, make sure it looks good. And also that's like my motto for my life since I was a kid, just always making sure that no matter what the situation is, I just keep going, as long as that's what I love, because another thing is, if it's not what you love, that's when it really affects you, you understand? But when it's what you love, whatever happens, you won't even feel it, you just keep going,
What was your feeling the days back then when you were sleeping in the car? Was it like, okay, I have to do something now, especially now I have to work? Or is it like, you explained what your mindset is in this point, but describe this time back then when you were sleeping in the car. What was going on in your head? Did you think like, now, especially now, I have to work? Or did you just keep on like normally and say like, I will see what God brings me?
Well, I mean, the later part where you said about God, I'm a very God-fearing person. Everything online, everywhere I talk about God, So yeah, I mean, of course I said I put my life in God's hands, but then again, I was just ready it was like a do or die for me, man. It's like, man, I can't fail because I'm a man, and being a man from Africa means what being a man is. You're like the provider, you're like the head of the family and everything. So for me, it was like, man, this whole experience, I have to make it. No matter what it takes, I just have to make it. So those times was just times when I realized that all I got is me, and all I got is this ambition that I have, this dream. So I have to find a way to make it happen, and that's what I just kept going.
What was your first thought when you saw like a world famous football player like Lamine Yamal? I mean, everyone knows him. He's very talented. He's FC Barcelona. I don't know how it's in Nigeria, but I think everywhere in the world people love this club. What was it? What was it for a feeling? Like, describe this feeling. I mean, let's go back to this moment. You made the song in one of your hardest times in life. And then like 10 years later, everyone is listening to this song. The fun fact is, when I told my wife that we want to make this podcast with you, and I know you know Scales, and she was like, yeah, Shake Body, Shake Body. She started screaming, of course I know this song. So, the song is like giving a lot of people like happiness, and people are enjoying dancing to the song, making videos. But what was it for a feeling to see like, okay, after 10 years, my work is still like having like people like still are enjoying it. I mean, TikTok showed us that especially art, music, you know, you know, we think like sometimes we make something and then the thing is done, but this TikTok, like especially these videos that go viral, that showed us, you know, music is timeless. So, what was your thought in this moment?
Man, it's still an unbelievable feeling for me, honestly, because I'm still mind blown, you know, because Shake Body was a song that I was, for lack of better words, I'll say I was ashamed of, because as at that time when I released it, it was a different kind of song. There was no song like Shake Body, you get. So I remember I was shy to even play it for people, because I didn't used to make that kind of music. The kind of music I made was different from Shake Body, you get. So Shake Body was really like an experimental thing, but it turned out to be what changed my life, you know.
I think even your manager said like, no, we cannot release it, but you were still believing into the song, right?
No. My manager wasn't sure also. My manager was on the same stance with me. But what had happened was, it was just one time, random time, when I was courting with a bunch of my friends, and it was my birthday, so we were just doing like a get together with a bunch of friends for my birthday. And I was a DJ. I was just playing songs, because I love to play my songs for people. And the Shake Body just came up. I didn't even know. I just put like a playlist, and I didn't know when Shake Body played. So when he played, people were just screaming. They were like, who owns that song? So that was when me and my manager looked at each other like, okay, this is the song we're going to drop next. And I remember, if I tell you for a fact, I can tell you how much I've spent on promoting Shake Body. It's not a lot of money, bro. Everything that has happened has been seriously organic till now. Because every day I wake up, I see new records, new milestones. Every day I wake up, you know, it's like mind blowing for me. And you know, 10 years later to still see people dancing to the song means like it's a profit. Because funny enough, this morning I remember telling one of my friends that I don't want to make hits, I want to make classics. Is now I understand what I said. I won't lie to you, that time when I said it, I didn't know what I was saying. You know, I just used to say good things about myself. You know, even till now, I don't complain. I hate to complain. I hate people that complain around me. So I always just speak good things. You know, even when things go bad, I'll just say thank you for the opportunity, you know, to even witness the fact that it went bad, which means I've learned from it. So for me, Shake Body being what it is right now still gives me goosebumps, and is encouraging, because now I want to even do more, you know, for even the age that I am now. It means anything is possible. And not just for me, but just for other people that look up to me. It means like, even when people think it's over, anything could happen, you know. And I feel like, because for me, I keep saying my legacy should be that people look at my life and get inspired by it, you know.
I think if we go back to that time, just to maybe wrap it up, you put all you got onto this one card, and you said you had a lot of people believing in yourself, basically being in your music video out of love, not taking money. So just putting everything onto this one card. Did you have a plan B? Did you have like this thought, what if that doesn't happen? Did you have something else in your mind, maybe some other talent that you would pursue, or were you just like, no, that's all I gotta do?
Well, you know, I have a degree, you know. So if it didn't work out, I would have, you know, probably worked, but that would have been so sad, because I wouldn't have been happy at all. You know, I've never done a 9 to 5 in my life. Have I? No, I've never done a 9 to 5 in my life. But, you know, I've never thought about a plan B, because I just know that I was going to make it. You know, so I never thought that. I mean, there was one time I almost quit. I almost left Nigeria I actually left Nigeria to go start a new life, but Shake Body brought me back, that kind of thing. So, but I always just knew that music was it for me. And every time that I feel like maybe, honestly, to be real, I've never thought music is not my path. I've always known that I'm going to be a star. I'm going to go far, because if you know where I'm from and you see where I am right now, you would not believe it, man. So you will understand when I tell you I knew I was going to make it. You hear me? Because where I'm from is, bro, I'm a vegetarian right now, because I don't eat meat, chicken, and stuff like that. But it's not by choice, it's by poverty. So when I was a kid, when they gave birth to me, we couldn't afford meat and stuff like that. So when my mom could afford meat, it was too late, because you know, when you're a kid and they don't teach you something and you get used to not having it, you just be like that, you know. So I became a vegetarian because of that. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy. We actually just today looked into your home city, Kaduna, looked some pictures just to get a feeling of where you come from. And also remember you said in another interview that your mom and you shared one kitchen where you lived. You were sleeping under the sink. So that's really humble beginnings where you started your life from. And now comparing to where you're at in life, I think a lot of things happened. And my question would be, when you got the first paycheck ever in your life, like I'm talking about major big paycheck, you first of all paid your debts. Second of all, you gave money to your mom, right? And you know what they say? They say like money changes people, money changes business, people, character. Do you think it also changed you in some way?
I mean, the only thing money changed about me is just my lifestyle, you know. It just made me rich, you know, made me wealthy, you know, and every day I'm still getting rich till now. That's a fact. But to change my behavior, I have to give it up to my mom, man. My mom taught me a lot, you know. Every day I'm thankful to my mom for a lot of things, because I've seen people come and go, I've seen people fall, you know, but it has never changed my character and who I am. I could be a billionaire and I'll still be humble, not by choice, but just because that's how I was raised. You know, I was taught that life is simple. There's nothing serious about life, because this same life, you could lose it like this. You know, so just be normal and understand that the same flesh and blood that you have is the same flesh and blood everybody has, you know, but it doesn't mean I condone disrespect. I don't, you know, but I respect everybody, and trust me, I also think about that anybody can be the person that will change the world tomorrow. You know, it doesn't matter if today you're 10 or tomorrow you're 40 years old. Anything is possible, you know.
When we talk about mindset, you know, we always have to talk about your childhood. And there's one thing we would like to know. You know, they say, for instance, when your parents, they are like dentists or they're doctors, there's a high chance that you also go through the same way they do. So how was it for you? Because we were talking about your mom and she has a big meaning in your life. We know that your mom, she was working in a music store where they were selling cassettes and CDs and stuff like this. So do you think like this time was affecting you to make music yourself? I mean, because it's one thing to, like, let's say you want to make music, but on the other side you have to have some talents, you know. But in which way did this time affect you? When you were with your mom in the store, you saw the CDs, maybe you saw first artists, and how did this time affect you?
Well, you know, when my mom was selling CDs and cassettes, I never knew I was going to be a musician, honestly. I just loved music, because that's all I was stuck with because we didn't have no TV. My mom just had one radio that she used to use it to play music so people can come and buy, you know. So I used to just use that opportunity to listen to different kinds of music. So before people come and buy it, I already have listened to probably everything, you know. So I didn't know I was going to be a musician. My mom told me she knew, because she said the way I used to always just love music, she knew that I would, one way or the other, either I was just gonna find my dreams with music. But honestly, I gotta give it up to a bunch of my friends, which we formed a crew. I just realized I never used to talk about them, but we formed my childhood friends. When they realized that I could sing and I could write music, I was listening to a lot of music, I started writing music. But I wasn't doing it because I wanted to be a musician. I was just doing it because I loved music, you know. My real dream as a kid was to be an accountant. You know, yeah, I just wanted, because I thought it was so cool, because as a kid I used to see accountants with the suits, with the suitcase. So I felt like, yeah, it was so cool. You know, I used to watch movies and they'll say someone is an accountant, he'll come out from a car, you know, looking fly and stuff, so that's what I wanted to do. But you know, my friends, we formed a group, we started making music, we started performing, you know, then it became a passion. Then I was like, wow. Then I started winning competitions. Then I was like, wow, I can make a living from this, you know. I was getting paid peanuts, but it was good because, I mean, I didn't have no money, I was poor, you know, so even the peanuts they were giving me was dope, was helping me move around and stuff. So that's how I fell in love with music. And of course, the city I was born and raised, Kaduna, is like a city that loves music a lot. So, you know, if you want a girl to like you, you have to, you know how to write music, you know. So being a musician helps you get the girls like this. So that's part of my inspiration, honestly. Then it became a thing for me, and I decided that, you know what, I'm going to chase this as a profession. My mom just told me the only thing she wants from me is finish school. And I did that for my mom, and she was proud of me, you know. And she told me, do whatever you want to do, you know.
But you said, you know, we were talking about like music, you had like your friends, you started with making music with them. So what I would like to know, what makes music different in Nigeria or in Africa at all than here in Europe, because when I just like listen to African like singers, musicians, I feel like you guys feel this music different. It's like it's hard to explain from outside, but here like we have artists, they do good stuff. We have a lot of good musicians here in Europe, but I feel like you guys feel it different. What does music mean for you guys there? Is it like, especially like you said, many people had a poor life. They were coming from hard, maybe you had not money to eat, you didn't have money to go to school or these things. So what does music mean for you guys there?
Well, music is like just, the definition is universal language of the soul, music is just all about melodies, whether you understand the language or not. If the melody is nice, you will like it. So for I would just say the difference between African music and every part of the world is Africa has so much culture. In Nigeria, we have close to, I might be wrong, but I know it's probably over 200 tribes, which means 200 tribes, over 200 cultures, which means different kind of sounds, different kind of music, different kind of melodies, different kind of instruments. So you know that whatever music you're hearing there is probably 10% of what is still there. You understand? There's still more coming. So that's what I'll say is different about African music. There's too much culture, there's too much tribes, too much languages, in the rest of the world there's just German, in Nigeria there's Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, bro, it's uncountable, bro. You know what I mean? So it's just, for me, I feel like that's what makes our music different from everybody else,
You said your surroundings affected you a lot when you were a child, that actually got you into the music industry. I think now you're maybe in a position where you also affect a lot of people around you, especially. And what do you think? What do these people say about you, or what you maybe like them to say about you? And how do you affect those people? Or do you even still have, up to this point, people that you look up to?
Yeah, I have a lot of people I look up to, man. It's crazy. I look up to even people younger than me, you know what I mean? Just because of their achievements. So I study people. I want to know why and how they did this, I still look at it because I feel like that's how I've been able to be in this career for so long. I've been a star since I was 15 years old, and now I'm 34 years old. So which means, and I've been in the industry for that long and I'm still this relevant, So for me, I just look at everything as a learning phase. Everything, like you just need to be open-minded enough to learn. And for me, the only way I believe people that look up to me will be inspired is to know that I'm ready to learn. I'm open-minded enough to say, okay, I'm done with this part of my story. I want to do something new. I want to improve my life. I want to get better. And not just my own life, people that look up to me, my family's life. I have a daughter, obviously, so yeah.
Skates, brother, another question. What I read when I started reading about your life, there was something that I thought it's really, really crazy. There was this thing that you and your daughter, you're the last people of your bloodline. That means like almost everyone in your family is not alive anymore. What did this thing do to you? Like me, I have lost my father. I know it's really hard to get over it. You also lost your mom, God bless her in heaven, in the same year. So what did these things do with you? Like how is it for you, like being, when everyone is not alive? Did it change your character in any way? Did it make you stronger, weaker? What did you feel?
No, it just made me stronger, man, because growing up, all my mom has taught me to be strong, And, seeing your mom my mom used to have so many jobs. When I say so many jobs, so seeing my mom, I didn't understand that as a kid. As a kid, I used to be ashamed, of my mom. But growing up, I'm like, I was sad at myself. Like, I didn't understand that because all my friends were rich, like they were rich kids and stuff because of church. Most of my friends were from church, But any which ways, not having any bloodline in life just makes me want to be stronger and understand that the legacy of my family is on me, and it's such a sad thing that, my father is not part of my life, so which makes me take out my father's name, because, I don't know the real story, but my father has not been a part of my life since I was 3-4 years old. So now it's just like a new generation starting from me now, which is my name. Like my daughter bears my name, you know, and stuff. So it just shows that, I mean, I won't say there's pressure on me because I don't pay attention to pressure. I just do whatever I feel like, and I do things at my own pace. You get? So I just believe that there's a lot of legacy that I have to protect and keep or create for the coming generations, from my daughter, maybe her kids, you know, and whatever other kids I have. I don't know.
You built the perfect bridge to my next question. First thing is, explain the moment when you hear the first time that when your girlfriend, your wife told you you will be a father, until the day you saw her and hold her the first time in your arms, because this is one of my favorite questions. I think there is nothing more beautiful in this world than having your own kid in your hand. Explain this feeling, plus tell us later. You said your dad left you were a kid, and you know, I don't want to know, maybe I can imagine that was really hard growing up without a father, but they say, you know, life always gives you a second chance. So, you know, when we talk about mindset, we also always have to think about that the life gives us always another opportunity to make things better. So the first question is, explain the moment knowing you will be a dad until the day you saw her the first time. And from the fact that you grow up without your father, what do you think you can make better for your daughter? Like, how can you close this gap that you had in your life without having a dad around you?
Well, I just always told myself that I was just going to be better than my dad, you know. I don't know the circumstance of things, you know, but for me, even if I'm not around my daughter, I always make sure I keep in touch, you know. I always make sure I call her, we talk. She doesn't talk, she's a kid. She hasn't started talking, but, you know, we just talk. We talk as if she's an adult, you know. And I feel like that way I'm building a relationship, a bond continuously. So I'm always going to be in my child's life, no matter what. No matter, because, you know, as a man, you have to go and hunt, you know. So even if I'm in the field hustling, I just keep in touch, check on her, make sure she's okay. And when I'm back home, I make sure we hang out as much as possible. Sometimes I make sure I go and sleep in her room, just maybe a day, once in a while. You know, just sleep in her room. We watch cartoons, you know, we talk, play with toys, and I go because I'm always traveling, you know. So
when you saw her the first time, let's just explain this moment, because I think for people, they don't have kids, they don't know how magical this moment is. Because as I told you my story, you know, when I lost my dad, 1 year later, I became a dad myself, and I felt like this moment brought light into my darkness. How was it for you, this moment when you saw her the first time? Because it's crazy, you said you lost your mother, and then when you saw your daughter, she looked exactly like your mom. Like, explain this magical moment.
Well, man, when I saw my daughter, man, it was unbelievable, man. First of all, tears came down my eyes, man. You know, it was just, wow, it's like a miracle, you know. And so, yeah, it was just like, I'm a father, you know. I'm lost of words because I really don't know how to explain the feeling, but my whole heart just melted, you know. It just felt like I have to protect this person no matter what. I have to be there for this person. I have to be a serious guidance. Like, I have to change my life for this person. You understand? That's like how I felt.
We talked about the time for you as a kid, you know, growing up with your mother, doing music, trying to make music, trying to have good times with your mom, but also having nothing. But you know, they often say like things from your childhood, they can traumatize you and they can affect your behavior in any way. Did you have one of these moments in your past as a kid that maybe traumatized you, and could you work on it? Could you fix it? Or do you even know that it's existing? What do you think about this?
Honestly, I've thought about it. There's nothing that has been traumatizing to me than poverty, bro. You know, they're not having a father, you know, like seeing other kids with their own father and not having mine. Sometimes, even as an adult, I'm 34 years old now. Sometimes I just sit down and say, I was with my girl, and I was saying, like, sometimes I feel like if I had a father in my life, I wouldn't have made some mistakes, because, you know, pretty much I left home when I was 15, 16 to go to chase my dreams. So it was pretty much me by myself with no guidance. So it was just me, myself, God. I made a lot of mistakes. I stepped on toes, burned bridges, but it wasn't intentional. I didn't know what I was doing, kind of thing. But now, those things have, I won't call them traumatizing, because for me, I just felt like it was a lesson, because now I know better. I know, okay, that whatever is good to me could be bad to the other person. So you know how I'm close to my pastor in church, so me and him talk a lot. So he always tells me something. You know how you carry your, let's say you take an iPhone. If I show you, like, for example, you see this phone. If I show you now, forget the whatever the screen is, but what do you see here? It's a screen, right?
Exactly.
And now if I turn it like this, what do you see? I mean, it's a cover, a back of a cover, which means what you see is different from what I see in life. So sometimes, so what I've learned is, so I won't call it trauma. I just see things, like I just learned to understand that people see things from a different perspective. So everybody has an opinion. So it's either you pass your own opinion and understand how other people feel about it, or you just keep going, But what I'm trying to say in essence is, I haven't really had any traumatizing this thing, I won't lie. Maybe I can't remember any now, but I would just say the only traumatizing this thing is just not having a father and going through a lot as a kid. I suffered as a kid, man, I won't lie, I suffered, Jesus. I went through a lot, yeah.
That's actually an interesting example, as you just had, changing the perspective, changing the filter, the lens that you see the world through. And what is really fascinating with you, that you talk about the past as saying, okay, it was maybe more as a teaching, a lesson. I look at it differently. And what we feel currently is you have a lot of positivity, a lot of good vibes. And how can you maintain this throughout your life and really looking at things maybe from that positive perspective? Like, how could you maybe teach us to be more positive?
Well, what I would just say is, don't worry about things you can't change. You know what I mean? You can't change the past. The past is the past. You just have to look forward to the future, because I believe in energy, If you do good things, if you speak good things, I'm a Christian. I go to church a lot. I pray to God a lot. So I believe I read the Bible too. So if you're very grateful, if you're very appreciative of life, good things will always come to you. So, and that's how I see life. So you have to have that positive, you have to always think that anything is possible. You have to, I'll give you an example. The people that made the car, if they didn't think it was possible, you wouldn't be driving a car right now. The clothes you're wearing, you'd probably be naked. You won't have a mic, you won't have a camera. So you just have to just think that anything is possible. I can do anything. So I'm a Christian, so I'm going to say that in the Bible, there's a verse that says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. So, but I mean, that is an additional thing to your mindset. So, but for you as a human being, no matter what religion, no matter what you believe in, just be positive. If you start a new job, if you have a goal, say, I can achieve it. I'll tell you something for a fact now. This year, I told myself I was going to be a billionaire. Oh my God, I shouldn't say it, because in Africa, when you say you have money, people start coming. So, because if they watch this interview now, they'll start asking me for money so much. But anyways, I'm not going to go there. There's a certain amount of money I said I was going to get this year. And I have that already, bro.
Nice, congrats.
And this is like June already, right? I have it already. I have even more than that already.
So you manifested it.
I manifested it. I have like all the things I wrote that was going to happen to me this year has happened already. So now I'm writing new things. You understand? But that's because I had to learn. I didn't used to be like this. I learned it. I have people that I listen to, like people talk, like especially my pastor. My pastor is like really great. He's not a normal pastor that just all they do is just talk about this. He talks about real stuff, real, and compares it with Christ's life and stuff like that. So for me, I learned that from if you go, let's say you can practice it. Anybody watching can practice it, because like I said, I always use my life as an example for people to be inspired. You can practice it if you go at least 1 month, no complaint. Just keep thanking God or whatever you believe in, or just being grateful. You will see how things will just be working for you. It's energy, man. Things will always work out for you when you're grateful for any small thing, whatever small achievement. Bro, I've been in this industry for so long. I've seen smaller artists come and do better than me. You get me? It didn't make me feel any type of way. I just watched them and learned what did they do differently, you know. But bro, look at me now. I'm achieving so much. Since I've been going viral since April, bro. It's like every time there's something up with Scales, you hear me? I'm not used to it because I'm like, wow. Every time I'm like, wow, you know, that kind of thing. But like I said, like, just have a positive mindset and look at your goals and just be grateful that you know that this is possible and it will happen. You know, I don't want to continue saying something because, you know, as an artist, there's some details I don't want to say before, you know, people disturb my life, you know, because I live a low-key life.
No, 100%. But it's really nice because this is exactly what we want when we make our podcast, you know. This is the type of question that, makes us happy and is good for our audience and for the listeners. But, you know, you talked about manifestation and these things and about being positive, believing in yourself. But you also mentioned one thing that I think is really nice because I think, you know, everyone is free to be religious or not. But it's beautiful to see when people pray or they believe in God and it gives them some power, because I have seen like documentaries or news or whatever videos about people staying and or living at places where there's total war or total poorness, and other people go there and say, man, that's crazy, these people are just happy because they have God, they pray. So you explained really good and in a nice way what God means for you and the pastor you talk with, and you know, if he sees it, God bless him. But what does praying mean for you? Like, when did you start praying? Do you even pray? Why do you think this praying is also kind of manifesting and spreading positive energy?
Well, for me, I'm nothing without prayer, bro. Everything that I am is prayer. And my kind of prayer is I don't go to God every time to say, oh, do this for me, do that. Most times I just thank God. Because there's a saying, I don't know if it's a general saying, but back home there's a saying that when there's life, there's hope. You know, so as long as I'm alive, I'm going to get it. As long as I'm alive, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm going to be this. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to go far. So for me, prayer is very important. I mean, it's just quite ironic how today I haven't prayed today, but I don't miss a day. I wake up 6 a.m. every day and I pray. It's not, I mean, Nicky Tall will tell you that I pray because he has witnessed it. So I don't play with prayer. Prayer is a very important thing. And no matter what you believe in, I'll just say whatever it is, just pray. You know, it's very important that you connect to a higher power that is in charge of your life. So just always pray. Prayer, I don't know, they say back home, prayer is the key. It's not to unlock anything in this life, yeah. But it doesn't mean you're going to be lazy. You pray and you go, and you do the work. It's just, those prayers just going to bring blessings, attract blessings for you, you know.
You said that you achieved already your goals in this year. That's crazy, congratulations. Yeah. But I mean, a lot of people have a lot of goals, have a lot of dreams that they want to fulfill, that they work hard for, they go every day. And did you had some goals that you are working for, but it just doesn't work out? And how do you keep your patience? How do you practice patience? What would you suggest also to other people, you know, that strive for their dreams, hustle day for day, but you know, sometimes things don't click?
Well, you see, most of the goals that I said I achieved are goals that I've been writing for years. You know that, you know. So, but what I would say is, because I'm going to always use myself as an example because it worked for me or is working for me. So what I would say is, if you fail, it doesn't mean you're going to give up. If you give up, you're going to regret it later. You understand? But if you fail and you keep going, it's going to boost even your mentality, that it's going to make you tougher. You're going to have a tough skin. It's good to fail. That's one thing I've learned in life is embrace failure, bro. Love failure. Make failure your companion. You know why? If you keep winning and you eventually fail, or you are used to winning and you fail, it's going to be so bad, bro. You know. But if you're used to failing and you win, is more of an adrenaline booster for you, because now you understand that, okay, damn, you understand ways. It makes you grounded. You know, it makes you grounded because you know that the same way I get it, I could lose it. So I have to find ways to maintain my victory. You get that kind of thing. So for me, that's how I see it. So definitely, if you set goals and you're not achieving it, maybe you should look into things that's making you not achieve those goals. You know, because you can't just say, okay, I want to have just a positive mind. How about you also look around it? What am I doing that's wrong, that's not making me achieve it? So that's how I'm very real with my life, with myself. Because one thing I told myself is I'll never lie to myself. You get me? You know what I mean? So yeah.
So you travel every day, right? Or most of the time you're traveling from place to place, and you said one thing that's really important to you is to pray every day, every morning, to have that time with you and God, be grateful for what we have. Do you have other kind of ritual or habits that are really necessary for you?
Another thing I preach is, you know, I don't know if you guys are Christians, but I'm Christian, and in the Christian world, God is love. God means love, you know. So, and how do you love God if you don't love one another, you know? So my ritual is be good to people, you know, be kind. I feel like I don't cheat people. Do you understand? I'm a businessman. I would negotiate, you get me, for my advantage, obviously, but doesn't mean I'm going to cheat you. I don't believe in that. I believe if you do that, you're going to start failing, or things would not work out for you. You get? So I believe in being good to people, no matter who they are, whether they're bigger than me or lesser than me. It doesn't matter. All that matters is my ritual in life is just be good to people, be kind, care about people, you know, the best way you can. But in the process, don't lose yourself, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, being in the process of, you know, working for you, for your family, for your daughter especially, really being most of the time away, not being able to spend time with her, as you said, maybe having a call with her also and seeing her whenever you can. But do you still have that feeling of a home, really, where you can be your true self? Do you have the feeling when you travel all the time that you have to be kind of slightly different kind of Scales, different personality? Are you more this figure of Scales, or is Scales actually the real you?
Well, you see, this question you just asked is very crazy. Because I'll tell you why it's crazy. It's crazy because people have said, oh, do you feel like Scales and Raul? And, bro, I've been in this game for so long that I feel like I just have one life. I'm just the same person. But one thing that I strive to do is be myself. You get me? Like, I'm just myself. It hurts because, of course, sometimes they want you to just be a star. But I'm myself. Bro, I can meet somebody today that my team will be like, oh, my management will say, oh, don't talk to that person too much. Bro, I just feel like, bro, we're human, man. Let's talk. Because sometimes when you talk to people, you don't even know who's going to give you the next idea that's going to change your life. You know, so I just like to be me. You get? So I mean, my name is Raul and the Scales, you get, but I don't know how to differentiate it. I just know Scales is the guy that sings. Raul is the guy behind the guy that sings. You get that kind of thing. So I just endeavor and strive to be me, because that way you're not pretending to be someone else, you know? And
yeah, that's crazy because, you know, when we met you today, the first time, I mean, you know, I'm a Muslim, I believe in God like you, and I have the same view over everything you said today. But I also have, like, you know, there's something spiritual in me. I feel like all people that I've met in my life, I've met them before in another life. I don't know, sometimes feels like this, you know. But what I loved when I met you the first time, or when we met you the first time today, it didn't feel like, okay, we're meeting now a world star, a famous musician. I felt like, you know, we came in with seeing a brother. Like, it felt like I've seen you all my, you know, I know you, or we know you all our life, and it was crazy. So why do you think it's important to stay humble, you know? Because I've also met, like, famous people that think, like, okay, man, he's no one, like, he's a normal one and I'm a star. But at the end of the day, you said something very beautiful in the beginning, you know? We made from the same things. God made us all same, you know? If we believe in this or that, we're the same. And at the end of the day, we're just human, you know? You make something nice with your music, someone else is doing a beautiful job, or, you know, something for the humanity. But why is it important? Why do you think, why is it so important just always to be humble, you know? Not feeling like I'm better than this person. And some really do it, and this what makes some people, like, disappointing when they meet their role model. I was a big fan of this person, and then you say, man, he was not the person I was, you know?
I mean, for me, humility has been a part of my life, all my life, you know, from humble beginning to, you know, and I always say this, that when you've been through a lot, you would appreciate life more. You know, bro, I come from, my mom used to be paid like, so I'll tell you the value in euros. My mom was paid like less than 10 euros a salary. No, I'm lying, hold on. Wait, let me calculate. 13. So yeah, like let's say, for lack of better knowledge, let's say less than 20 euros for salary per month. And that same salary she has to pay for rent, pay my school fees, do a lot of things. So when you come from that kind of background, you would understand how life is just nothing, bro. Life is basic. You just need to know that, see, at the end of the day, we're humans, we need each other. You don't know what everybody's going through. Do you understand? You don't know what just being nice or kind to someone can change. You know, you watch superhero movies, right? Yeah. Where maybe because of, as a kid, because something bad happened to him, that's why he became the villain. You know, do you understand? So you don't know, you could be the person that would change that bad person from being a good person just because of one little act of kindness or one small humility that you show the person. You get me? I've also met artists that I used to look up to that you know, turn me down. But I mean, I understand why they turn me down, because they're also human too. So sometimes when artists behave the way they do, I understand, because I'm also an artist. Sometimes it's just moods. But me, I've programmed myself that even if I'm in a bad mood, I'm still nice. You see me smiling. There's most times that I've taken pictures smiling. Maybe I'm pissed off. But when it comes to other people, I'll be like, because it takes, for me, I believe it takes a lot for people to love you, you know, so you have to appreciate them. You know, do you know what it means for me to earn a living, then take that money to come and watch you at a show or listen to your music or stream your music? That's a lot, man. So the only way you can give back is, you know, just be humble, show love, you know, as much as you can. Because one thing I learned as a kid is, I can't remember who was saying it when I was back in Kaduna, the only way up is down, you know, and the way down is from up. You fall down. From down, you go up. You get me? So pretty much.
Another thing, brother, you know, when people make something like we do, like we make, you know, our podcast, we make our content, or you make your music, what we learned when we talk about mindset is like showing that you appreciate that people take their time, because Gustav always says there is nothing more valuable you can give me than your time. And for example, when you look at us, you know, sometimes people like friends or whatever, people at work, they call me, they say, I watched your last podcast. And I tell them, listen, I thank you so much, God bless you, for even watching a second or 10 seconds, or if you watch the whole, it doesn't make a difference to me. What would you like to tell your supporters, your fans, call them however you want, but what do you want to tell them? Or I think it's not often that people make something and show that they appreciate that people support you, because I don't think it's normal, you know, people buying tickets, coming to your shows, taking the time. As you said, tomorrow could be your last day, your last second. So someone is giving you your time. So like, what does it mean to you that people do this?
It's a great feeling, you know, to know that people appreciate you and appreciate what you do and want to support you, you know. So it's like, how do I put it? It's simple. You know, imagine you do a show and there's nobody there. You know, it's going to be heartbreaking. So for people to do what they do and say, oh, I love him, that's why I'm coming to, you know, to take my hard-earned money. Sometimes people that come to watch your shows have not even finished paying their bills, you know, but just because they love you, they want to see you, you know, so it means a lot to me. And I'm always grateful. I'm always very appreciative. I'm always like, that's why, like, if anybody sees me and they say, oh, I'm a huge fan, can I take a picture? I stop what I'm doing and come take the picture, because it means a lot, you know, for them to be a fan, you know. So like, I'm just really grateful, and it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. Yeah.
You being a really spiritual person, and on the other hand, a businessman, obviously you have to also earn your money, provide for your family. What kind of goals do you have in your life, like bigger visions, bigger goals that maybe are bigger than yourself even?
Man, I have a lot of goals, man. A lot of goals, obviously, that I can't discuss, you know. But one of my major goals is to change people's lives, you know, the best way I can, you know, to strive to affect people, to impact in people's life, because that's my goal, and that's what I keep telling. When I pray, that's what I tell God: bless me so I can bless others. Open the door for me so I can show people the way. That kind of thing. So that's like my most important goal.
That's the perfect end, actually. So, what is your spirit? What is your message out for the people watching this?
Man, most importantly, I want to say thank you so much, for everybody that, is watching this right now. Thank you for taking time out to watch this. Just spread love, man. Be kind to one another. The world could do with a lot of love right now, because people are going through a lot, man, a lot of things. People are killing themselves. People are getting depressed. People are, giving up. So be kind, because that one little act of kindness can change a lot for a lot of people. So yeah, just be kind, man.
Yeah, I think these are perfect last words.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today's case. It was really an honor. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next interview. Please give us a like, write your comments down, and see you for the next video. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.